Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with a quick starter. Can you have a go at these 4 quick questions for me? Pause the video for a few minutes and complete those questions in your light blue books now, please. Okay, let's go through some answers. I've got £1.70 and I want to divide that by 4. I'm going to do a little bus stop division. So I've got £1.70, I'm dividing it by 4. 4s into 1 goes 0, remains a 1. How many 4s are there in 17 for me, Zara? 4, lovely, remainder 1. How many 4s are there in 10, Ione? 2, remainder 2. How many 4s in 20, Lily? 5, lovely. So this tells me it's £0.425 or 42.5 pence. 4 squared just means 4 times 4. What's 4 times 4, Ava? 16, thank you. A little bit of bib maths. I've got a bracket first, so I want to do that bit first. 1 divided by 2 gives me a half, or 0.5. I'm then doing a half multiplied by 3, which is just a half, plus a half, plus a half, which would give me 1.5, or you might have written 1.5. Both of those would be correct. And finally, I asked you to round 2.55 to 1 decimal place. So I want to round it here. Here's my 1 decimal place. I look at the number after that 1 decimal place. It's a 5. If it's 5 or above, I need to round up. So that 5 becomes a 6 and I get 2.6. Okay, here's today's lesson destination. We're looking at ingredients to make flapjacks. It's a shame we're not in school because at this point I'd probably bake flapjacks and bring them in. However, we will put that to the side. Maybe I'll do that later on when school reopens. This is our other lesson destination. Let's see how we get on. So finally, I've got Miss Cairnduff's flapjack recipe. And I used 200 grams of butter, 240 grams of honey, 160 grams of brown sugar, 380 grams of porridge oats, and that makes me 20 flapjacks. If I wanted to make 40 flapjacks, I need 2 lots of that 20 to give me 40. So I need to double all these sets of ingredients. So I now need 400 grams of butter. I now need 480 grams of honey. I now need 320 grams of brown sugar. And for the porridge oats, I now need to have 760 grams. So we've doubled them all because we've doubled 20 to get 40. So we need to double every single ingredient within that recipe. How about if I wanted to make 60 flapjacks? So we've got the ingredients for 20, looking at our bar. We doubled it to get the ingredients for 40. But to get 60, we're going to need to triple all those ingredients. So I'm now going to need 600 grams of butter, 720 grams of honey. I want 160 times 3 of brown sugar, which gives me 480 grams. And I need to triple 380. Eight times 3 gives me 24. 3 times 3 gives me 9, plus 2 gives me 11. I need over 1 kilogram of porridge oats to make 60 flapjacks. Okay, over to you. In your light blue books, I've got a fruit punch that serves 2 and I need 100 ml of apple juice and 100 ml of orange juice. How much of apple juice and orange juice do I need to serve 4 people? Pause the video and in your light blue books, can you tell me what do you need to do to those numbers? Do you need to multiply them? Do you need to divide? And work out how much apple juice and orange juice you're going to need. Please look at the bar model I've included at the bottom to help you out. Pause the video and have a go at that now, please. Okay, I've now given you a shortbread recipe that will make 10, and I need you to make 30. Can you pause the video and in your light blue book, work out how much butter, sugar and flour you're going to need? I've put a bar model at the bottom to help you out. Pause the video for a few minutes and answer that now, please. And here are the answers I was looking for. For the fruit punch, you needed to double it to give you 200 mils and 200 mils. And for the shortbread, you needed to triple it to give you 300 grams, 150 grams and 600 grams. Back to my flapjacks. I said I was making 20 flapjacks with this quantity of ingredients. If I wanted to make 10 flapjacks, here's my bar for 20, I need 10. How many lots of 10 can I get out of 20? Well, I could get 2 lots of 10 out of 20. So if this was my ingredients for 20, I need to half those to work out how much I need for 10. So I'd need 100 grams of butter, 120 grams of honey, 80 grams of brown sugar, and 190 grams of porridge oats. Here's my flapjack recipe again. This time I want to make 5 flapjacks. Again, I've got the ingredients for 20, however, I can get 4 lots of 5 out of those 20. 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 5, each of those little bars being worth 5. So to work out how much ingredients I need for 5, I need to divide my ingredients for 20 into 4 little sections. So 200 grams divided by 4 is going to give me what, Sarah? 50 grams, lovely. 240 grams, if I divide that by 4, what am I going to get, Jasper? 60 grams, lovely. 160 grams, what am I going to get if I divide that by 4, Ione? 40 grams, lovely. And 380, I want to divide that by 4, let's do a quick sum. A bus stop division. There are no 4s in 3, so remainder 3. How many 4s are there in 38 for me, Felix? 9, lovely. Remainder 2. How many 4s are there in 20, Ellen? 5, lovely. So I need 95 grams of porridge oats. It's a very small recipe. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, can you tell me how much of each ingredient do I need to make fruit punch for one person? Pause the video for a couple of minutes and answer that now, please. And how much of each ingredient do I need to make enough shortbread for 2 people? I've given you enough for 10. How much do you need for 2? I put the bar model at the bottom to help you. Pause the video for a couple of minutes and answer that now, please. Okay, I'll go through the answers. So the first one, for the apple juice, I'm now going to need to divide that by 2, so I'm going to need 50 mils. And for the orange juice, I need to divide that by 2 to give me 50 mils. For my shortbread recipe, I had enough for 10. I now want enough for 2. I need to divide all those ingredients by 5, as 10 divided by 5 gives me 2. So I now get 20 grams of butter. I get 10 grams of sugar. And I get 40 grams of flour. Okay, Year 7, can you pause the video now and in your light blue books, can you show me how much of each of these ingredients to make 1 sponge cake you're going to need to make 2 sponge cakes? How much of each of these ingredients that are made to make 3 slices of pizza you're going to need to make 6 slices of pizza? And how much of these ingredients you're going to need to make 6 pancakes if I've given you enough to make 2 pancakes? Pause the video for 10 minutes and answer these questions now, please. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check how you did. Okay, Year 7, I've given you some more recipes. This time I've got stuffing, baked rice custard and cookie biscuits for 4 grams of turkey, 8 people and 10 people. Can you work out how much of each ingredient you need for 12 kilograms of turkey, how much of each ingredient you need for 4 people of baked rice custard, and how much of each ingredient you're going to need for cookie biscuits for 5 people? Pause the video and in your light blue books, have a go at these questions for about 10 minutes now. And these are the answers, Year 7. Please check how you did. Okay, cast your minds back to the beginning of the lesson. I said this was our first lesson destination. Can you pause the video for 5 minutes and in your light blue books, have a go at this exam question now, please. Okay, I'm going to go through the answer. So I've been given ingredients to make 6 flapjacks. Here's my 6 at the bottom. For example, I need 75 grams of butter for 6, but I need to make 24 flapjacks, and that's going to require me to have 4 lots of the amount I needed for 6. So altogether, I'm now going to need 300 grams of butter, because I've got 4 lots of 75. 4 lots of 6 is going to give me 240 grams of sugar. Oats, I've got 175 multiplied by 4. Do a quick sum. 175 times by 4. 5 times 4 gives me what, Ava? 20. 7 times 4 gives me what, Freya? 28 plus 2 gives me 30. 1 times 4 gives me 4, plus 3 gives me 7. So I need 700 grams of oats, and syrup, I needed 1 for 6 flapjacks, so I'm going to need 4 tablespoons for 24 flapjacks. And finally, Year 7, can you pause the video now and spend 10 minutes on these exam questions for me? Okay, let's go through the answers. So I've got ingredients for 12 biscuits and I want to make 36. There's 12, there's 24, there's 36. I'm going to need 3 times the amount of everything here. So I'm going to need 300 grams of butter, 300 grams of sugar, 750 grams of flour, sorry, not 750, 450, 50 grams, I'm going to need 150 grams of cocoa. And that's what the question asked me. I'm also going to need 90 ml of milk. Okay, I need 100 grams of butter to make 12 biscuits. I have 250 grams of butter and I have plenty of everything else. What is the maximum number of biscuits I can make? Well, we worked out that I would need 300 grams to make 36 biscuits, but I haven't got 300 grams, I've only got 250. 50 grams of butter means I could make 6 biscuits because I've divided 100 by 2 to give me 6. I've got 5 times that, so 250 grams will allow me to make 30 biscuits, which is less than the 36 because I don't have 300 grams. And finally, Jed makes 24 biscuits. He sells 2/3 of them and he eats half of the biscuits that are left. How many biscuits does he eat? Let's start us off. If he sells 2/3 of his 24 biscuits, let's split this into thirds. So he sold 1/3, and 2/3. We've then been told that he eats half of the biscuits that are left. Let's split what's left over in half, and we know that he's eaten half of them. So he's eaten 1, 2, 3, 4 biscuits. And that's the end of today's lesson, Year 7. Can you now go back to Google Classroom and complete the exit ticket I have provided you with? Have a lovely day. Thank you very much.